I returned the Google Pixel 7 Pro, and before you jump on the hate bandwagon, let me explain. When I got the Pixel 7 Pro, I was nothing short of impressed. From the hardware, the sleek and stylish look, the camera, everything about it was really nice. And when I was actually using the Pixel, it was nothing but a great experience. So you must be pretty confused. I mean, why would I return a phone if it was such a great experience to begin with? Well, before we get into it, if you can leave a like on this video, sub to the channel, and even consider hitting that post notification bell, it would mean a lot as it really does help out the channel. Anyways, the Pixel 7 Pro was unlike any other phone that I've used. When it comes to Android, most of my time was spent using Samsung devices, so I was going into it with fresh eyes. From the initial setup to me using it as a daily driver, it genuinely was a great experience. But I felt like something was missing. I guess for some clarification, I went out of my way to purchase the Pixel 7 Pro for all of you. Whether it comes to making content on it or doing camera comparisons on Twitter, I didn't really have the intention of keeping the phone unless I really liked it. In the beginning, it looked like something that I can really get behind. In my last video about the phone, I talked about some quality of life features that really made a big change in the way that I communicated. Transcribing voice memos, call screening, and the accuracy of the voice-to-text transcription was very useful to me. Like, you're even able to send emojis using your voice so that your texts don't sound cynical or just dry as hell. To me, these are some of the key reasons as to why I was vouching for the Pixel so hard in my initial review. And don't get me wrong, I stand by everything that I said in that video. Believe me, I'm not no shill, nor did I have any reason to talk about the Pixel as good as I did. I did not get the phone for free, nor am I even a part of Team Pixel. It's just that out of the gate, it was a really unique phone to me, and it was an experience that I haven't had before when it came to Android. However, there were a couple things that did turn me off from the Pixel, and after posting a tweet about it, I had a few people agreeing with me in the responses. Firstly, and one that really isn't the Pixel's fault, but I'm coming from a Z Fold 4, and to me, this phone checks all the boxes. It has great battery life, a large display when unfolded, a very comfortable and easy to use cover display, as well as it being really performant when it comes to gaming or multitasking due to the 8 Plus Gen 1 inside of it. These are all points that I've made in my various Fold videos, so I don't want to keep repeating myself, but ultimately for me, I don't believe there's any competition for it. A smartphone is supposed to be an extension of your life, and it just so happens that the Fold is the best damn extension in my life. I never have to worry about things like battery drain, heat, or even needing to grab another device like my iPad when I'm in a pinch. It cuts out nearly half of my devices just because of how practical it actually is. So when it came to the Pixel, I truly felt like I was missing something. Yes, functionally, they're pretty much the same. And technically speaking, they both have a 6.7-inch display, but the Fold's aspect ratio being more square means you could run two apps natively side by side without a hitch and without missing any information. But I understand this little tidbit of information may not be very useful to most people since the Fold is not only very expensive, but it's also a really niche product as well. So before you take this as me telling you to jump ship and just buy a Fold, that's not what I'm saying at all. However, there were a couple of concerns that I had with the Pixel 7 Pro when I was using it throughout my day-to-day. The battery life started off okay, and honestly, I had a little bit of a glimmer of hope, thinking that the adaptive battery just may have not kicked in yet, or that it would get better over time. So as time went on, and I started to use the phone a little bit less because that honeymoon period with it was over, I noticed that the battery life wasn't actually getting better, it was starting to get worse. There weren't really any days that I was actually able to push the Pixel to like that 6 to 7 hour sweet spot, which is what I look for in a phone. And that 6 to 7 hours is what I was initially getting with the Pixel. I also noticed some things that started to worry me, like how hot the phone actually got. And prior to my first review of the Pixel, the only time that I actually noticed the phone getting warm was during the initial setup process, which made sense because the phone was under a huge load. But browsing Twitter, Google Chrome, Reddit, literally all of these mundane tasks, even opening the camera for a little bit, caused the phone to get pretty warm to the touch, to the point where I could feel it through the case. Granted, it was a slim case, but it's not like I was pushing the Pixel hard at all. For comparison, the Z Fold 4 is always cool to the touch, no matter how hard I push it or how much I use it. It helps that I live in Canada and it's been really chilly recently, but I can't remember a time where the Fold actually got warm, unless I've been like wirelessly charging it all night. Another thing that started to bug me about the Pixel was the At a Glance widget. At a Glance is helpful, it gives you weather updates, news, and information that could be practical for you, but this is not a widget that you can remove. You can disable At a Glance, but all that will do is disable the live weather updates and news and other smart things that widget can do for you. The widget will still always show you what day and month it is. And on the Pixel 7 Pro, the widget is just tucked to the upper left side, and it's typically in the spot where I'd put my own widgets, stuff that's actually useful to me. And I just feel like the ability to not remove it is just completely unlike Android. I mean, the whole point of it is supposed to be an open operating system that you can kind of tweak and customize and do whatever you want with it. And this phone made it feel like closer to an iPhone, like a more locked in experience. And that's sort of when I realized this phone wasn't the end all be all Android device. This is sort of Google's way into locking you into an Apple-esque ecosystem. I mean, they even launched the Pixel Watch, announced the Pixel Tablet, and showed off a bunch of new smart home devices at this event. But what was ultimately the turning point was when I found out that Google was bringing voice message transcription to the Z Fold 4 and Z Flip 4, as well as a ton of smart tensor-only features to Google Messages. Ultimately, most of the things that made this phone a compelling option for me were starting to make their way to a phone that I already really like. And that's the one that's been living in my pocket since it's released. On another note though, I just want to be clear about one thing. My experience with the Pixel 7 Pro may be unlike any of yours, and you may really like it, you may have not had the battery issues or the heat issues that I've had. It is possible for phones to have lemons. I mean, there's thousands, if not millions of these devices out there right now, and it is possible for some of them to just suck. So don't take what I'm saying and make a big deal about it. It's just simply my experience, and I have no reason to lie to any of you. I make these videos to be transparent and share my thoughts on devices that I spend my own hard-earned money on, just like all of you do. I don't get handouts, and even if I did, that still wouldn't stop me from sharing my honest thoughts. So if you enjoyed this video or found it helpful in any way, a sub to the channel and hitting that post notification bell would really help out a ton. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out.